Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We have a lot of interesting wrestling news to touch on today regarding some great news for Bayley and The Rock vs. Daniel Bryan. So let's get right into it. Starting off with Bayley. Even though some fans were skeptical at first with Bayley's heel turn and didn't know if it would work, Bayley definitely silenced those critics with all the success she had as a heel so far. She's already the longest reigning champion in SmackDown history. Bayley had completely abandoned her entire old character when she went heel. New look, new music, new persona, and an entire new character that had nothing in common with her old self, which some fans had mixed feelings about. Some really liked her hugger Bayley. It was a unique and different character, especially in NXT, but it was never going to work if she stayed that same way her entire career. As many WWE legends often say, it's always about evolving yourself and your character. You can't just stay with one persona your entire career. Fans are going to grow tired of seeing the same thing over the years. So you have to evolve and change your character. You look at the greats, like The Undertaker, for example, and you can see how many times the character evolved and changed over the years. You have to keep it fresh. So that's basically what Bayley did. She had that hugger persona for 5 to 6 years, so she had to switch it up. It was the right time for it. It even looks like Bayley is already planning far ahead for next year's WrestleMania. WWE superstars always have these special over-the-top entrances for WrestleMania year after year. They didn't really get to do anything special at this year's WrestleMania because of the circumstances they were dealing with, so no one really had a special entrance. We heard rumors that Bray Wyatt was in the process of getting a monster truck and all these things like that, but all that was unfortunately ruined. But Bayley is already setting up her plans for WrestleMania 37 and received some exciting and surprising news. Paramore's Hayley Williams was recently on Instagram Live just chatting with fans and reading chat. It turns out that Bayley was in the chat with a very special request. Bayley asked Hayley if she could use her song Simmer as her WrestleMania 37 entrance song. Hayley did notice Bayley's comment and was honored by the request and gave her blessing for Bayley to use the song. Hayley said, "You have our permission." That's sick. That's a good sign right there, if one of the main musicians are giving you the permission. But if Bayley is serious about this request, and it looks like she is, WWE will still have to work on several more legalities to actually get the proper permission to use the song at WrestleMania. So there it is, our first WrestleMania 37 rumor, and the actual event itself is still over 8 months away. But it's still something to discuss and see if Bayley really will walk out to the song at WrestleMania. WWE and Bayley have 8 months to get the proper permission. So that's another good point to point out too. They have a long time to get it done. It seems like Bayley is very serious about making this happen, so don't be surprised if you see Bayley walking out to that song at next year's WrestleMania. Next up is some news regarding The Rock vs. Daniel Bryan. It's been quite the busy week for The Rock. You might have heard already, but The Rock recently took over as the owner of the XFL. We covered this story over on our Instagram page at WrestlingWorldCC. We have news going up all day long over there as well. If a story isn't big enough to put into a video, we usually post it over on Instagram, so you can follow our page for more stories like that. But it still was a big story. 2020 was supposed to be the XFL's big comeback year, but it really didn't go according to plan. The season started well, but was never able to conclude after the season was canceled midway through. Then word started to go around that the XFL was done once again. But then the news came out that The Rock and a few others had purchased the XFL. So this will most likely help for some new life to be brought into the XFL. Everyone was congratulating The Rock. Bleacher Report even posted a video of The Rock when he was explaining his old story of how he was playing in the CFL, living his dream of playing pro football, but was cut 2 days later with $7 in his pocket at just 22 years old. He panicked because he thought he had to make it to the NFL, but he later realized that not making it into the NFL was the best thing that ever happened to him. The Rock quoted that post from Bleacher Report and had this to say now that he's the owner of a pro football organization. Thanks for the post, guys. My pro football dreams never came true, but buying the XFL allows me to help other players' dreams come true and give the fans something special and fun for the love of football. So, some really exciting stuff there. We know Vince McMahon was going all out to make XFL a success this year, and it flopped. But Vince McMahon was basically running two companies at the same time, so he probably wasn't giving the XFL his full, undivided attention. Now we switch owners to someone like The Rock, who has deep love for the sport of football, knows what it's like to not make it to a pro level of football, and wants to help others achieve their dreams. So who knows? Maybe this is a big turnaround that the XFL needed. We'll have to keep an eye on that story. The Rock's hectic and busy week continued after he got called out by Daniel Bryan for an unusual reason. Daniel Bryan had this to say on Twitter: "I would love to do a match with The Rock, based solely on how many times my daughter has made me listen to 'You're Welcome.' And then, of course, it's stuck in my head and I sing it all day." For those of you who aren't aware, "You're Welcome" is a popular song from a Disney movie that is sung by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson himself. The song really got popular with viewers of all ages, and telling by Daniel Bryan's tweet, it looks like his daughter is also obsessed with the song. So as a way to get payback for that catchy song being stuck in his head all day long, Daniel Bryan wants to face The Rock in a match. The Rock is currently 48 years old, but I think everyone believes that he's fully done in the ring. The Rock's last legitimate match took place in 2013 against John Cena for the WWE title. I know that The Rock technically faced Eric Rowan a few years later in a 20-second WrestleMania match, but I don't really count that as a full match. His last match was in 2013. He hasn't wrestled since, and probably never will again. Between his movies, directing, and now being one of the owners of XFL, there's just too much on The Rock's plate for him to return for a full storyline and match. Will we get more short one-week appearances from him time to time? Sure we will, but as far as an actual full-length match, I don't think it has any chance of actually happening. Which is unfortunate, because even though Daniel Bryan was making a joke with his match request for The Rock, I think it really would have been an interesting matchup with the both of them being in their prime. The possible promos between the two of them, the actual wrestling match itself, it all would have been really exciting stuff to see. The Rock usually responds to tweets like this from the WWE superstars, but he has yet to respond to Daniel Bryan. The Rock is still really busy with all the XFL buzz, so he probably will get to Daniel Bryan when he gets the time. But what are your thoughts on The Rock versus Daniel Bryan? Would you be interested in seeing that match, or not really? And what do you think of Bayley's request to have Simmer as her WrestleMania 37 theme song? Does it fit her character? Leave your comments, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Follow us on Instagram at WrestlingWorldCC and on Twitter at WrestlingWCC. Thanks for watching, guys.